which team has more at stake this offseason? Is it the Knicks or the Lakers?
More at stake. I think that I think the
LA.
Knicks are the easier fix is the Knicks. I mean, they went to the second round. They had a ton of injuries. They have their coach in place. If they get some of these guys healed up, they're going to be okay. The Lakers, man, damn. They tried the third superstar. They thought they had that with Russ. I don't believe they need a third superstar. I think they need better role players because the difference in the series in which the Nuggets lost is that their role players did not play as well as the T-Wolves role players because they made it a 3-on-3 situation. Because if you look at the Lakers and the Nuggets, the big two from each team canceled each other out. But Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and KCP outplayed on average Rui, Austin Reeves, and D'Lo. And that was the difference in the ball game. Man, I get what Perk's saying, says, look, AD is the younger of the guys. He's going to be there the longer. Find a coach that's better suited for AD. I honestly think the the Knicks are the easier fix, but the Lakers have more at stake this offseason because it's not like they got LeBron James for the next 5 years. They don't. I know he thinks he can play that long, but I don't believe he can, Wendy.
Okay, you corrected yourself there, too, because it sounded like you were saying that the Knicks had the harder lift in the offseason.
No.
You fixed it at the end. Otherwise, you're going to need that spray bottle. The Lakers have no coach right now. No coach.
Correct.
Their star players are in their 30s. They have a fraction of the assets that the Knicks have. The Knicks are, the second seed, and there's a big gulf between them and the Celtics. And there are other Eastern Conference teams that are going to be fighting to get in there because they got they were fortunate this year. There were some injuries that knocked some teams behind them. But the Lakers they got a real tough road to hoe here. I mean, I honestly don't know. They don't have a great option for head coach right now. Whatever coach that they end up hiring is going to be a risk on one side, either the high side or the downside or the upside. And they're fishing around, for these star players. I know what people are saying. Well, the Lakers are going to trade for a star player. Well, the Lakers don't have a great selection of things to trade. They have some stuff. They've got some draft picks. But if there's a bidding war for a star player, I don't think the Lakers can win it. Unless that star player says, send me the Lakers, or that's it, and forces his way there, which is not simple. I think the Lakers, and also the Western Conference, the Lakers are in 7th place this year, all right? Who are they passing? Who are they passing? And who behind them is going to be in position to pass them? It's rough. And it's not even, I would take almost any Eastern team as a better outlook than almost any Western team that's trying to do a come up because it's just so much tougher. In all honesty, if you look at the Lakers' job, one of the reasons why it's such a brutally hard coaching job is that even if you come in and do great and totally maximize what you have, you could still be back in the play-in. So the Lakers' situation, by their own making and by circumstances that are outside of their control, is much, much harder than the Knicks.
Right, Wendy, which is exactly why the Knicks have more at stake this offseason. When I'm thinking of this question, who has more at stake? The Knicks, we were just talking about whether or not they need to add a piece to the group that they have. So the Knicks are deciding, do we want to keep what we have or do we want to add a piece? And the reason they're deciding that is because they have a legitimate chance to be in the finals next season. We've already said that. We've already said this Knicks group, as currently constructed, can make a finals push next year. And if they add a piece, they have an even better chance. So what they decide to do this offseason, there's a lot at stake there because they can go far. It doesn't matter what the Lakers do this offseason. Yes, you want to get this next decision right, but even if they hire the best coach and even if they add a couple of pieces, I don't think it's going to be enough to get to the finals. I don't think it matters what the Lakers do this offseason.
I need clarity on this. I know I'm the one that asked the question. So basically, is what we're saying that the Knicks have more at stake because the Knicks have a better shot?
Essentially, so
the Lakers are so far out in the West regardless that's why there's less at stake.
Yes.
But you could sort of flip it and say they have more at stake because they're so far out.
I don't think it matters what they do this offseason. That's kind of what I felt like Wendy was alluding to, unless I heard him incorrectly. I don't think it,
we're looking at
what moves they make this offseason, but then what?
We're looking at a remodel versus a demolition here. We got like one house that needs to redo a sink or a kitchen, and then the other house you got to tear down some walls and like figure out what we got going on. So the expectations are different. Now, from the outlook of who has more pressure, you would say the Knicks because they're in more of a situation where next year they could capitalize and compete in the finals. But on that same cloth, we talked about earlier, they could be careful to add their piece. They are in a position to be careful because they're already really good. They have a whole bunch of assets they can move or don't move. They have cash to spend, and they had most of their star players not playing. So you get them healthy next year. This team is already really good. So when we talk about going into the summer, who needs to make major changes and who is under pressure, the only reason I say the Lakers is because, my God, you have the most famous player to ever play our sport, other than Michael, in his last primal years, wasting away right now. You have AD. You have AD also, who's 31, 32 years old. He's no like spring chicken anymore. He's played 12 years in the NBA, wasting his years in the league. They don't have a head coach. They don't know what assets work. They don't even know what coach wants the job, to be honest. Bud could have had the job. He don't want it because the seat's too hot. So like it's like what the hell in terms of like pressure this summer? Like they got a lot to figure out.
Now, when it comes to dynamic duos left in these playoffs, we got Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, maybe the most potent duo of any remaining, scoring a combined 48.4 points per game. But then there's Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, and of course, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So, Dre, I want to come to you first. Which duo, and those are some serious ones.
Those are, yes.
Right? Left in these playoffs, do you feel is the most dangerous?
They're all great, so we'll just start with that
course.
before fans just light all of us up for picking one. If I'm picking one, I'm picking the duo that beat the reigning champions after being down 20 in an away game. I'm going with Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. Those two players, with Ant, the way he can impact the game when he is not shooting the ball well, when he's not scoring, his defensive presence, his energy, his leadership, he is the alpha male on that team, so I'm giving him a nod over everybody. We've just talked about him being the best player left in the playoffs. Karl Anthony Towns' commitment to Ant being that number one guy, to defending, to rebounding. He put up 23 points in Game 7, again when they were down 20. When I look at those two as a duo, their understanding of who's the alpha and who's the supporting cast, their commitment to the defensive end, and their ability to impact the game when they're not scoring, those two, they are the most dynamic duo and the biggest threat as a pair left in the playoffs.
Shay?
Give me Luka and Kyrie, because I trust Luka. Nobody has taken and made more bigger shots on the big stage than Kyrie. I watched him average 25, 26, 27 points a game in an NBA Finals. I watched him take one of the biggest shots in NBA history in the Finals against the defending champs, a 73-win team. I watched him do that. I understand that they're guards, and you say you're taking two guards over two threes, a guard and a big. Yes, absolutely. Kyrie Irving and his ability to get off any shot to finish at the rim with either hand. He's a below-the-rim player, 3 levels, the 3-ball mid-range, can shoot. You follow me, going to go to the free throw line. And what do I say about slow motion? Man, Luka ain't got but one gear. But I tell you what, it might take him like 9 seconds to get from the top of the key to the paint. But guess what? He going to finish it off. Give me Luka and Kyrie.
I'm going with the guys that have gone to the conference finals multiple times, going back to the finals for the second time. I hear Minnesota. I hear these teams. These guys won 2 playoff series. All right, Luka's the guy who went to the conference finals. Him and Irving are just now gelling together, and they're playing really well. Brown and Tatum are a known success. Now, they haven't won rings, but we know together they have played high-level basketball. And when we talk about the best team in basketball, they are the 2 best players. What we need to see with them, the question with them has always been growth. Who is the only duo out of this list who, if they don't win a championship, the whole world's going to come on down on them? It's those 2 right there. There's a reason behind that, because they have the best team and because they've had the most success as a duo being able to play one another. And it's been even more impressive due to the fact that they're both ISO players. The fact that they've been able to co-manage and be next to one another has been, a marvel to see. By the way, they're always, when we talk about these two, when it comes to Luka and Kai, this is a story that I think people were shaky about for a long time up until recently this year when we saw that working. So I give Shannon, a point for them. Listen, we know how exciting they are playing. I can't argue about that. We talking about who's the most exciting to watch. Ain't nobody better in basketball to watch than Kyrie Irving.
He's going to put on a show.
Yeah, he's going to put on a show every time he steps on the court.
Of course.
But I think the best duo for now, until Ant and Karl take that realm, I think it has to be Brown and Tatum.
I hear you on that. My thing with the Mavs, like you said, them just now playing together. Kyrie had 2 games in the last series where he only scored 9 points.
Yeah.
It's like I'm going off of what I've seen in the playoffs and what I've seen this season. And my issue with both of those pairs is that they're the most dangerous when they're playing well and when they're scoring.
Yeah, but
Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards are the most dangerous no matter what.
No, that's not true.
No.
By that logic, if you're going to use that logic, then you're contradicting.
Impact the game. No, I'm not impacted. They can impact the game.
The Wolves did better when Karl got in foul trouble. They got Naz Reid coming in.
He still finished with 23 points.
I'm saying,
23 points and 12 rebounds.
But the series before, Karl wasn't even the second best player in the series. It was Jaden McDaniels who was guarding well and averaging 20, putting 20 on KD's head every night.
But I think what Anthony Edwards has done lifts Karl Anthony Towns. I'm just taking that duo. Like, I'm not saying Karl Anthony Towns is the best out of the list of players, but those two together.
But I'm looking at Kyrie. He's also dealing with Jalen Williams running off screen. He's also taking the challenge from time to time to guard Shea. But we saw Kyrie play alongside LeBron James. Now, remember, he got hurt in the first time they played, or that might have been a different series in 2015. He comes back in games. He comes back the following year, and guess what? Y'all remember that game five that he had? Y'all remember that when he dropped 41 and only missed like 5 shots, and then he came back the following year. Although they almost got swept by the Golden State when they got KD, he averaged like 27 and big shots. You're not going to take anybody that's playing on either side, Cat, Ant, JT, or JB, to take a bigger shot than Kyrie. Who you want the ball in their hands? Last 10 seconds of the ball game. Who you want, Andrea? Who you want, Austin?
I want Iguodala. I'm just kidding.
No, I hear you. I want to go back to the Celtics, though, Austin, because we were just talking about who the alpha is on that team. So when you're looking at that duo in a close game, in a close game, when the game's on the line, and you're looking at that duo, what do you expect them to do?
Who? Brown and Tatum?
Yes.
Close it.
Which one and how?
Tatum.
What does it look like?
Tatum could close games. Why you acting like Tatum can't close a game?
I'm not acting like
But do you feel like he's going to
consistently
consistently close games?
I believe he's showing growth already. I think him being able to pass the ball a little bit more. I hear what you're saying though.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear I pull up all brains. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's 88 over here,